former colleague of Jeff, by the way. I'm with UNDP, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to update you on some of the progress on at least the logistical part of the preparations in Rio. UNDP together with NGLS was in Rio last week, starting to discuss the bigger picture of how the different sites are connected and where the main bottlenecks are. And thanks to people like Jan Gustav and others, Jeff, and your list, we were able to have quite good recommendations to our colleagues in the Brazilian government. So I think my discussion here is mainly to update you on some of the possibilities that are still available in Rio. I don't know how many of you that will be there, but there are in fact quite a lot of openings still available, I think for another 2 weeks. And I've had some good discussions with Chantaline regarding how to use some of them, but I also want to inform you. So this is a slide I get from my colleagues there, see if it works. No, it's sideways. Is it frozen? It's a beautiful picture. Absolutely frozen. Okay, it's one of these. Anyway, sorry about that. This is a slide that was given to me by our colleagues in the Brazilian government. So we just have to sweep quickly. As you know, the sites for Rio Centro is being taken care of by our colleagues in DESA. Yeah. So any questions regarding the Rio Centro can go directly to Chantaline. For issues related to the Flamingo Park, you all know that that's being taken care of by the Civil Society Facilitating Committee with Iara and her colleagues, and that is also being well taken care of. So the question is, where are the offsite spaces? Sorry, just to see, if you look at the map, I don't know, I'm sure most of you are already familiar with how Rio is set up. But you can see that it's quite huge distances between the Baja area and the Flamingo area, and it pretty much took us 1 hour to go from one spot to another. So our main concerns to the Brazilian government is this transportation issue, and I think it was resolved, as Chantaline also mentioned yesterday. Okay, let's go quickly to the... So, as I mentioned, Rio Centro, you're already well familiar with. Athletes Park, you also have quite a good sense of what's happening. But for the arena, it is one of the interesting spaces that are now currently being developed. And I would just mention that it's a 20 to 25 minute walk between Rio Centro and the arena. And bikes will be available and buses will also be provided. So that's news. The idea is basically to move some of the side events that were not able to be accommodated in the Rio Centro to the Baja Arena. And we are looking at accommodating all the non-accredited side events there also. We have been given 5 auditoriums there, which is great. So there's still room for some side events to come in, I guess, at this point. I'll provide you with the email address later on. Baja Arena is also the main site for the Brazilian CSOs who want to organize side events. So it will be quite a nice mix of international and local CSOs in that space. The big arena itself, let me see if I can get a nice picture for you. This is basically the main site. I'm sure you've seen the picture before. Rio Centro, Athletes Park, and Baja Arena. Let's see, let's see, let's go directly to the arena. I think that's what we want to use this time for at this point. Sorry for these slides. So this is the arena, and it has a huge arena in the middle, which can accommodate 12 to 18,000 people. At this time, there's not much planned for that space, unfortunately. And that's mainly because the planning of the offsite spaces started pretty much last week, when the Brazil government asked UNDP to help them plan for this event spaces. So it's very, very late. We apologize for that, of course, but not much we can do. We have then received 5 auditorium, as I mentioned there. There's lots of meeting spaces. This is going to be the main production room for the web TV. There's going to be web lounges. There's going to be about 5,000 computers available there. Lots of Wi-Fi and a lot of ad hoc room spaces. And if the major groups want to have additional office spaces, there's about 50, glass bowls on top, quite nice rooms that you could request. And there's lots of flexibility here still. That's my main comment to you. And if you come with joint proposals and stuff like that, within at least the next 2 weeks, we can still use that space in a quite good way. So let's see here. So there will be bicycle racks, infrastructure, lots of NGO rooms, storage space also for you guys, etc., etc. There's actually many, many more rooms than what's on this list. This is the list that they had before, but they've actually procured the entire space, which is huge. Yeah. I could actually take. Let's just go through the next site also. The piers. I'm sure you've heard about the piers before. There's basically 4 warehouses that that the Brazilian government has available. One of these will be for civil society, pier number 1, and pier number 2 is still really not planned for. There's also question marks about how to use this space at this point. And should you guys have some ideas, please, this is the right time. There's also a pavilion that will mainly be used by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture. I'll show pictures about this space. And some of the local outcomes of the Rio+20 is going to be showcased here. For example, the state of Rio will be launching a community space there for empowerment of youth, trainings, and so forth. Let me just speed things up a little bit. So this is the center. It's fairly close between the Flamingo Park and the piers. It's probably like a 5-minute car ride. So this is the piers. Warehouse 1, 2, 3, and 4 are very close by. The warehouse 3 and 4 are for the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation, and they will have a lot of activities around that there. There will be events for family farmers. There will be like a farmers market around that area. One of the questions that the Brazilian government had was if there was an interest to perhaps use warehouse 2 to show films, like an auditorium, if there are any requests about that. Yeah. So that is also the piers. There will be reception desks. There will be bicycles available between Flamingo Park and pier. I'm not sure if we will be able to have bus shuttles between the 2 sites. Lots of food stands everywhere. Okay, I think this is the pavilion I mentioned for the youth activities. together with the Ministry of Education yeah. Okay. For the other sites, I mean, you already know that Flamingo Park is being developed by civil society itself. The government of Brazil has completely encouraged the independence on that. At this point, the main problems there was that there was still no Wi-Fi available for that space, and we were really trying to sort that out. And I'm sure that will be taken care of as soon as possible. So my main message now is that should there still be some ideas, I think this is the right time to come forth with those, mainly for the Bahar Arena and for the piers. There are also plans from the Brazilian government to have an official parallel program, and I heard that Stakeholder Forum is also trying to collect a list of all the activities. It would be great to put you guys together for efficiency. And there's only 5 recording teams planned, so if anybody wants to record their side events, I recommend you guys to plan amongst yourself how to cover that, just in case. If anybody wants to connect your side events with one of the web TV, which is going to be online, I can connect you with those to make sure that that's planned before you get there. And I'll end by saying if anybody has some creative ideas of how to connect Flamingo Park with Rio Centro, then I'm more than willing to take those on. And share them with the Brazilian government. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's still some open doors there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben. Before I open the floor for questions, I invite Chantaline to offer a few words.
Okay, I just want to clarify a few things. First of all, we're very glad that our colleague from NGLS and UNDP could go to Rio with acronym. For sure. And then clarify some of these issues. There was a lot of confusion, and actually now there seems to be opportunity. And actually one of them that we grasped, and I just want to clarify, everybody that submitted a side event, that 600 of them, that is accredited, 1 per leader, 1 per organization can be the lead, right? We've accommodated within the Rio Centro. And we'll show you once the page come up where that is. All the one that we've moved, when Ben told us and Thomas that we could use Arena, the Barra Arena, those that were not accredited, instead of just saying you can't have a side event, we just said, hey, we're going to move it to the arena because you don't need to be accredited for that. So the one that we've moved are those that were not, the organization that were not accredited. And that, again, another clarification. Even if you're still waiting for your special accreditation for Rio, we assume you will be accredited by the GA, and we kept you in the Rio Centro. So this is not something to worry about, because I know a lot of you are worrying about this, and we are worried about it too. But we kept you in the Rio Centro because we do not expect a problem. The other thing is, Ben mentioned list of activities. We sent to all of you the list of activities that Felix had sent around from Stakeholder Forum, and that big one that we have that Carla has been maintaining. It's very important. We have, Carla, how many activities do we have on that one? Hundreds, right? Yeah. So, but there's so much, but it's important to start to keep those up. We want, at the end of this meeting, we want to put those online somehow in a way that is useful. So we circulated that. Check it. So make sure all your events are on there. And because that's what we're going to be posting online. So anything that you're doing, and also remember, that's the list we're going to be using with to complement, every day we say here on the side, the official side event. We're going to also talk about parallel event. So that's the list we're going to use for the parallel event. So make sure your events are on there.